on our way to San Antonio River Walk. We will see you there.
Yeah.
Hi guys, we are here now in San Antonio. Under this bridge is the River Walk area. We will stay in this Drury Inn and Suites by the river. Hello guys, we're here in San Antonio River Walk. Right at the moment, nag-enjoy kami ng happy hour. At saka mag-watch kami ng boat riders passing by, and a little later will be our turn. We'll do that too. Here's the river boat.
We're here like in a restaurant. Can I see this one?
Yes, baby. We got boat passing by. We're having a good time. Finished our happy hour, and we're walking here at the River Walk. Come with us and stay with us as we go along for the evening. So that's Cindy ahead of us. Ang nauna, hi! At saka yung si Lexi, yung apo namin. There. It's really so relaxing out here. Very nice. Hi, Lexi! Yeah, see? Papunta kami sa Riverboat Tour Terminal para sakay din kami sa boat at saka ikot-ikot kami dito sa River Walk. Okay guys, we are here at the boat tour station. So we'll just wait for our turn. People are lining up right now. Kaya hintay lang kami ng aming time. Meron na rin kaming ticket na nabili online. Kaya hintay na lang kami. Lexi is really so excited. She's been running around. She's got lots of energy. I guess this is the boat that we'll be in. It's a pink boat. Okay, pumipila kami dito. Papunta sa boat. Ito ang aming boat captain. Hi, boat captain. Hi, how are you? Over there, Lexi. Come on. Go follow auntie. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now we're seated in the boat. We're just waiting for the boat to leave and start our cruise, river cruise. So that guy in blue is our tour guide.
Now let's start with the safety rules. Okay, folks, safety first. Now first, folks, there's no prolonged standing. Now if you want to stand up for a picture real quick, I get it. There are great photo ops here along the river. But be aware, folks, we have some low bridges, so watch your heads. And also, let's watch our elbows. We'll be passing on the boat, so there'll be some narrow areas, so just be aware, folks. And we can actually start with this little bridge we just went under here, folks. Now, this has become the most popular footbridge on the Riverwalk. We call that the Selena Bridge. If you folks have ever seen the movie Selena with Jennifer Lopez, that's where they filmed on this bridge. And now, coming up right here, folks, I'll show you another optical illusion here along the Riverwalk. And when I pass this bridge, folks, if you look straight up to the left of the boat, you're going to see the old Knicks Hospital. And this hospital, and some very famous people you folks may have heard of were born here at the Knicks Hospital. Carol Burnett was born here at the Knicks, and Oliver North was born here. Henry C. Netherlands was born here. And I was born here, June 5th, 1967. Woohoo! Woohoo! I know people are semi-famous anyway, so it kind of counts, huh? Eddie Michelle Rodriguez, she was also born here at the Knicks Hospital. It's right across the street from the Alamos, called the Paseo de Alamos, the passage to the Alamos. So you can walk right through the lobby here, folks, and when you get to this is the fastest way to get to the Alamo from this side of the river. Now, since it is across the street from the Alamo, folks, it had to be shadow tested. Now we have a tradition here in San Antonio that says no building will ever cast a shadow on the Alamo. It's actually a national shrine, so you can't do that. Now this hotel was supposed to be 26 stories tall. Well, at 26 stories, that would have been a huge shadow on the Alamo. So what they did was, while the builder was building here, the city and the state came out and they inspected his shadow line. And when he made it to 16 stories, they told him you have to stop your building right here. You cannot build it any higher.
Be careful, little girl.
And now all this part of the river here in front of us, folks, now this is called the River Square. And this is where you'll find most of the bars and restaurants here along the Riverwalk.
This is the River Square where they have lots of bars and restaurants.
So if you folks have ever wondered, does anybody actually fall into the river? Yes, they do, folks, fall into the river. We average about 60 people every year that fall in.
May nahulog din pala dito sa river na ito. Mga 60 people daw every year.
Friday nighters.
Lalo na pag Friday, ng mga lasing na sila, hindi na sila makatayo ng maigi, nahuhulog sila dito sa river na to. Fun place, a beautiful place.
And now here to the right of us, folks, this is Casa Rio Mexican Restaurant. And this is the very first restaurant on the Riverwalk. They opened in 1946.
Itong restaurant na ito, nag-open daw noong 1946. First Mexican restaurant. Ang dami ng mga umbrella dito. Ngayon ay COVID, kaya medyo mahina ang mga customer.
That's called the Torch of Friendship. So right here, folks, we're going to make this left-hand turn. I just want to make sure there wasn't going to be another boat coming out of there. Coming up right here in front of us, folks, you're going to see two hotels coming to view here. Now, these are both Marriott hotels. The one to the left is the River Center Marriott, and the one to the right is the River Walk Marriott. When they first bought the land to build this River Walk Marriott, there was already a hotel right there on the site. It was called the Fairmont Hotel. And the Fairmont Hotel is on our National Historic Registry. So it's a little historic 3-story hotel. So the builders of this Marriott, well, they couldn't just destroy that little hotel and put the Marriott up. We actually had to figure out how they were going to move that hotel. So what they did, folks, was they put it on 36 giant dollies. Each one of them had 8 wheels. And they moved the whole building 5 blocks down the road to Alamo and Nueva. It took them 5 days to move that building 5 blocks. Now that's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the largest building ever moved down city streets. And that little 3-story hotel weighed 3 million pounds. It's also a pretty cool video on YouTube. You can look it up on YouTube. It's been condensed into a 17-minute video of how they moved the hotel down the road. Pretty interesting. And here to the right of us, folks, you'll see a tower here over the wall there. Now this is the Tower of the Americas. And that was a centerpiece for the 1968 World's Fair. And that tower is 7. It has a revolving restaurant and an observation deck. And that restaurant makes one full rotation every 45 minutes like clockwork, so you can't actually feel it moving. And I'll tell you something else, folks. It has 900 plus stairs to get to the top. 952 stairs. And it also has 2 glass front elevators, folks. You should use the elevators, guys. I'll even tell you a local secret, folks, because now they do charge you to go up in the elevator. They will charge you to go up. I think it's like 15 bucks or something. But we locals have a little secret. What we do is, if you just want to go up, you tell the guys who run the elevator, oh, we're just going to go have a couple of drinks in the bar, and they let you right up. They don't charge you to use it. But you didn't hear that from me. Now right here, folks, is one of those low bridges I was telling you about. And they tell us, I tell people they should tell us to tell you to watch me, watch my head. That could be the most entertaining part of the tour if you don't get that right. And now on this part of the river here, folks, now this is one of the newest additions to the Riverwalk. This is the River Center Mall area. 5 and completed back in 1988. And here at the River Center Mall, folks, there are 125 shops, restaurants, and small boutiques here. There's actually over 1 million square feet of shopping space here, folks. And I'll tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 movie theaters here in the River Center. One of them is an IMAX theater. Has anybody ever seen a movie on an IMAX theater screen? That screen in there is 6 stories tall and 8 stories wide. Now I tell people that, folks, that screen in there is 6 stories tall and 8 stories wide. And right about here, people get a good look at that building, and I see the gears in their head turning like, wait a minute. That's only a 4-story building. How do you get a 6-story movie screen in there? But actually what they did, folks, was they incorporate the basement of the food court in the height of the movie screen. So technically, part of that movie screen there is actually underwater.
Beautiful. Okay guys, come to San Antonio. It's a beautiful place. Lots of history in it. We are enjoying this twilight cruise at the river of San Antonio.
If you look here on the right hand side, you're going to see an 8-foot statue here. Now this is a statue of Saint Anthony, or San Antonio at Padua. And this statue was a gift for the 1968 war. And contrary to popular belief, folks, the city was actually named after the river. The river before the city sprang up. So by the time the city arrived, they just named it San Antonio after the river. And now coming up here to the right of the boat, folks, if you look over the wall here, you're going to see a church steeple there right in between the trees. And that's the steeple for St. Joseph's German Catholic Church. And this church was built in 1868. Well, back in the 1800s, folks, English or Spanish. And if you look over the wall here to the immediate right, folks, see that building there? Now that is not the church, folks. That's River Center Mall where we just left. Now originally, when they were building this mall, what they wanted to do was to buy the church and just tear it down and build on the whole piece of property. They wanted the entire block. But of course, who's going to sell their historic church? So what the River Center Mall did was, they just bought all the surrounding land and built on all 3 sides of the church. So from right here, there in the middle, and then River Center Mall to the left and the right. They didn't even leave a room for a parking lot, folks. It's actually just a church up there. Has anyone ever seen a movie called Up? You know, there's a scene in that movie where there's a little, that looks like. From the top of the stairs here, you'll get a picture, it looks exactly like that. And like I said, that's an iconic church. Every 4th Sunday, they have their Mass in German. They have an all-male German choir that sings in there. They even have all the original stained glass windows they brought from Germany in there. It's a beautiful church. I tell people they have everything except for a parking lot. Yep. These cypress trees, some of them are over 300 years old. There's one on the other side, we know it's over 350 years old. Yes, ma'am. These boats drive up and down the river all day long. Yeah, that's why it just looks turned over like that. Usually the water, before, if you come in the morning, before the boats come out here, you can see the bottom in 4 feet of water. It's crystal clear water, yes ma'am. This is actually a spring-fed river. Bottom of the river. Yep. And there's some baby ducks around here too. This hotel, folks, is in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest modularly built building of its size ever. Beginning to end, there's 500 rooms here, and they built this entire hotel from beginning to end in 202 working days. Now, just to give you guys something to compare that to, if you look here to the right, you can see one of our ticket offices here. It took us 18 months to build these 2 little buildings here. I tell everybody here to the right, 18 months. 4 floors right here on site, along with the elevator shaft there in the middle as a base. And all the square rooms you see, those were being built at the exact same time, 7 miles out of town on an assembly line, and they were brought in on flatbed trucks. And when they arrived, folks, every one of these rooms was fully furnished. Everything was in there. All the beds were in place, the pictures were on the walls, dressers, mirrors, everything was ready to go in every room. All they had to do was use 2 giant cranes and stack these rooms on top of each other like Lego blocks. Each individual room weighed 70,000 pounds.
Well guys, our boat tour is now over and the night is getting darker. We are here on one of the River Passage Bridge watching other boats pass by. They sure look awesome in different colors. Also, San Antonio is the place where Texas fought its independence at the Alamo. So this place is very historic and beautiful. It's a carriage. Ito ang one of the few cities that still have this. Ayan, ang gaganda nila. Good night to everyone. We will see you tomorrow. We're going to the Enchanted Rock right there in Fredericksburg, Texas, another historic town. Good night.
Bye-bye! See you tomorrow! Bye-bye! See you tomorrow!
Bye! Good night!
Sige!